Hey guys, so we're gonna talk about the achievement gap, and basically the achievement gap is just the difference between academic performance between different groups. Those groups can be broken down into male, female, black, white. It's just the achievement between different groups within the academic system. So basically, my research is just focusing on how can the use of the relational cultural theory and a cultural relevant pedagogy of African American men and can be used on African American men in closing the achievement gap. The reason I'm doing this is because a trend that's happening, no matter if the school is in the Savannah neighborhood or a middle class neighborhood or a rich neighborhood, no matter what the achievement rates in those areas between African American men and their white male counterparts is significantly lower, even the schools that provides the tools that students need to succeed in the world. And even with that, the difference in rates is significantly low. So there's a lot of literature surrounding this. So I'm just gonna like sum it up because we can talk about this for days. Or I broke down each literature, and literature basically talks about the two theories and how these theories are used in basically creating a relationship with the students. So the teachers and students will basically sit down, talk about their cultural differences, talk about what makes them the same, and then the teacher would take that information and then incorporate that information into the curriculum. And hopefully by incorporating the students' backgrounds, way of life into the curriculum, it will make the material more understandable and more relatable instead of just learning instead of just having things thrown at them without knowing how it's going to affect them in the real world or how does it actually pertain to them. So these theories is basically revolve around a connection between teacher and students and taking the student's background, a cultural background, and incorporating it into the curriculum and making the learning more understandable and relatable to life. So the methods is basically we use is going to be interviews. So the study is going to last a course of years, so from preschool up until completion of high school. And through each year, there's going to be interview questions, basically for the teacher and students asking, how was test scores, was the performance rate in the achievement gap the same? Did it change by using these theories? Um, and then I think so. And basically the participants for the study is going to be 30 boys. 15 using the two theories, and 15 is in the regular curriculum. And then we're going to compare those two to see if the theories actually help in closing the achievement gap, or they're just, you know, theories. They're not doing anything. They're just there to be there. Right? And basically, the purpose of the studies is to find alternatives in the curriculum to close the achievement gap, because the achievement gap it has long-term effects. So people in certain school districts or certain areas are not learning what other students are in other areas, and it's just causing for certain groups to be set behind other groups when the achievement of all students should be roughly around the same. Should be roughly around the same. And basically, the objectives of the research is just to see if these two theories help in closing the achievement gap. The expected outcome is to either tighten or close the achievement gap. It's just to provide the students with tools they need to achieve as a level at the same level as their peers. It's also to help the teacher and student build a relationship because, as we all know, in school we have those connections with teachers that just carry us all the way through, and those relationships, help us out in the future by getting jobs, recommendations, and it's providing us with the necessities we need to achieve in life. And it's also to basically have the teachers understand the background of their students and the environments they're teaching in. Because some teachers come from, privileged backgrounds and they're unable to separate themselves from that privileged background to, a student that is struggling to, feed themselves at night. And so these theories is basically to help teachers and students to learn each other's cultural background, for teachers to use that learning understanding to incorporate that into the curriculum. Uh, and that's about it. There's a lot of references on this. I have about like 20 some sources, but here's my first three. Thanks for hearing me out. Have a nice one.